So you guys probably caught my recent video in which I discussed my recent change in smartphone back to the Samsung. I think I'm gonna stick to the S9 Plus. There were a number of reasons why I switched back to this phone, but not one of which was this potentially faster internet connection on LTE. I happened upon this article on Bloomberg, which states that Apple's iPhone trails both Samsung and Google in internet connection speed via mobile networks. They used a tremendous amount of data from the world's most popular speed test, at least I assume it is, the speed test that I use, the one from Ookla. Ookla, isn't that fun to say? That's the famous speed test app that you probably have on your phone as well. This tremendous amount of data that they can sift through and say, okay, this particular device generally connects and has a speed test at this speed, and this other one at this other speed. So the reason this is interesting is because this is a very important characteristic of your smartphone. This is what you want to do. You want to stream content, load web pages. So here's the speed test data, and keep in mind this comes from an article on Bloomberg, which I will link down in the description. The S9, based on 100,000 tests, had an average speed of 38.9 megabits per second. Now remember, this is on cellular connectivity. This is not on Wi-Fi or anything like that. The S9 Plus was a little bit lower at 38.4. The iPhone 10, on the other hand, 29.7. A drop of almost 10 megabits per second on the iPhone when compared to the S9. We have the Google Pixel 2 XL here as well, and it fits in between the two of these at 33.9 megabits per second. Now, something to keep in mind when it comes to the iPhone 10, 8 Plus, Apple uses various components for their LTE or cellular connectivity. Those components can either come from Qualcomm or from Intel. The unlocked Apple iPhone that you get from the Apple Store will likely have Qualcomm components in it, whereas the iPhone that you buy through AT&T is more likely to have Intel components. Qualcomm's latest modems are usually speedier than the ones built by Intel, but Apple uses software to keep the speeds of the Qualcomm chips closer to that of the Intel devices. Beginning to sound like another one of these conspiracies going on, downgrading the capabilities of the Qualcomm-based devices strictly to match the Intel-based devices so that they have uniformity across the board. I thought, hey, this is some interesting information here. It's an interesting development, and I fully understand that the number of variables in play are vast, but nonetheless, I wanted to see for myself, if I just grab my SIM card, swap it between these three devices, will I see a significant difference in the neighborhood of 10 megabits per second? Or maybe I'll find something different. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and load up the speed test and do 3 separate tests on each of these devices. I'm gonna make sure as well to select the same server for each of these 3, which is located at the same distance. I'll then be swapping my SIM card between all 3 to make sure they're on the same carrier as well. This is a real world use case scenario, holding onto the device the way a normal person would, and it's all on the exact same network. Okay, so here we go. We have the numbers. The numbers are in. They seem to meet, actually exceed the difference that was found in the original Bloomberg article. As you can see in my case here in the center, I have the S9 Plus ranging from 74.7 megabits up to 85 megabits per second down. This is the Pixel 2 XL over here, which just like in the article fits in between the S9 Plus and the iPhone 10, and then the iPhone 10 down at the bottom. Now, what really stands out here is just how much faster the S9 Plus was on all 3 tests. So we took all 3 tests from each phone in order to find an average. The S9 Plus is actually 26% faster on downloads than the iPhone 10. And things get even worse when you look at the upload speed average. The S9 Plus is 55% faster at uploading across 3 tests compared to the iPhone 10. Now, the Pixel, on the other hand, is only marginally faster than the iPhone 10. When it comes to download speed, it was 7% faster as an average across the 3 tests, and upload speed, it was 30% faster than the iPhone 10. Now, to be clear, we are in the Toronto area, and these are operating on the the Rogers network. And obviously, when it comes to speed tests, we need to keep in mind the wide variety of variables involved in determining what's responsible for the type of speed that you're getting. But my findings here, alongside the Bloomberg report, are seeming to point in the same direction. And the truth is, you may very well have the exact same experience if you run a test like this yourself. So if you have access to multiple devices, pop your SIM card out and see what you end up with. Now, you can decide for yourself how significant that is depending on your scenario. And if you're like, I don't know, I don't really need a 20+% improvement in download or a 50+ improvement in upload, or maybe, in my neighborhood, I'm getting awesome numbers on the iPhone 10. It's quite possible. But it seems to me the superior product from a communication perspective is sitting in the center right here. So maybe it's something we should be taking a closer look at, because I think it's a significant characteristic. This is interesting stuff, especially if it's because Apple is in some way, through software, toggling back the performance of their Qualcomm hardware just to match up with the Intel stuff that's being sold on different carriers. Then things get real interesting. Bloomberg said that. I didn't. Nonetheless, S9 Plus wins this round. There you have it. This episode of Unbox Therapy has been brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Now, if you don't know about these guys, they are the company built on delivering awesome quality razors to you for a fraction of the cost of what you would pay inside of a store. But they also do great grooming products. So we'll kick it off with One Wipe Charlie's gentle and effective flushable moist wipes. Aloe vera. What's better than that? 3 wipes inside the trial kit right here. Also, shave butter to keep your face wonderful and smooth. And then don't forget the calming amber lavender body cleanser so you smell good. I'm helping you out here. I'm making sure that when you're out in public, you got the lavender vibes. People are looking at you. They're like, this guy, he's got it together. The scent coming off of him, I'm attracted in some way. Well, I mean, I'm not, but somebody will be. Of course, don't forget, you get the classic executive handle here, beefy, along with the razors. This whole kit is yours for $5. $5 right now. All you need to do is head over to dollarshaveclub.com/unboxtherapy. Try out the different products. You really can't go wrong. Also, shout out to them for supporting the show. If you like this show, support them. They support us. Thank you.